A pill known as Power is freely distributed by a man named Biggie to a group of dealers so that it can be spread around New Orleans. When ingested, the pill can give its user a superpower. One night, one of the dealers, named Robin, is selling the infamous pill inside an empty amusement park where she almost gets robbed by 3 young men. Fortunately for her, a policeman named Frank quickly arrives on a motorcycle to stop the robbery from happening further. A young man is about to ingest Power, but instead of stopping him, Frank dares him to do it, warning him that the superpower given by such pills is random and there is a possibility that he can die. The young man hesitates, and Frank takes this opportunity to take the pill away from his hand. He then tells them to run away. Frank and Robin actually know each other because Frank is one of her customers, but he only uses Power to defeat other users. After buying from her, he gives her the motorcycle that he has as a gift for her birthday, making Robin happy. The following day, a U.S. Army major named Art heads to a dilapidated neighborhood apartment to confront a power dealer named Newt. Upon knocking on his door, Newt immediately points a gun toward Art, who introduces himself as Major. When Newt goes away from the door to confirm this, Art manages to open the lock without the dealer knowing. Inside the disheveled room, Art points a shotgun at the dealer's head, but the dealer manages to run away to the bathroom and ingests a pill which gives him the ability to generate flames. Art tries to interrogate the dealer about the source of the pills, and he also takes Newt's phone. However, the dealer has powered up and his entire body bursts into flame. Using the fire, he attacks and chases the major. Because of this, Art runs away to another floor of the apartment. With his superpower slowly diminishing, Newt ingests 3 more pills without hesitation. Upon noticing that Newt's power can be neutralized by water, Art waits inside a bathroom with a wet cloth in hand. He then attacks the dealer and puts him down in the bathtub, where he questions him, wanting to know who his supplier is. Newt finally confesses that he got it from a guy named Biggie. However, due to ingesting too much power, Newt overdoses and explodes, instantly killing him. Luckily, Art manages to escape from the blast with only a slight injury. Meanwhile, Robin has just woken up from her sleep and she is already late for school. While heading out, Robin notices that her mother is not feeling well due to her illness of diabetes, so she tells her that she will buy her prescription drugs and soup. Robin's mother watches the news about the apartment fire and wonders if Newt is all right. As it turns out, Newt is Robin's cousin. Then, Robin leaves using her new motorcycle. A while later, she texts her cousin's phone during her class to check if he is okay from the recent apartment fire. But the phone is now in the hand of Art, who decides to pretend as Newt and replies that he is fine. They agree to meet later at their usual time, although Art has no idea what it is. Anyway, he decides to head to their meeting place immediately, which is a fast food restaurant. At this time, the teacher finds Robin using her phone in class and gives her a low grade. When the teacher asks her what she will do with her life, Robin's classmate answers for her, saying that she will rap. Wanting to humiliate her, the teacher agrees to raise her grade if she can rap in front of them. But the feisty Robin accepts the challenge, humiliating the teacher and gaining her classmates' respect by rapping with an attitude. However, it turns out to be a daydream only, and in reality, Robin just angrily leaves the classroom. Meanwhile, Frank and his partner have just arrived in front of a bank that is heavily guarded by the police due to a hostage-taking scenario. Frank asks an injured policeman about the suspect, and he replies that the suspect is like a ghost. Upon entering, Frank and other policemen are told by some men in black to just wait outside of the building. Disagreeing with this, Frank sneaks inside the building instead, despite the order. Before he enters, he ingests a power pill that activates his superpower of hardening his body. But while cautiously walking inside the building, Frank misses the suspect, who has the power to blend into his surroundings like a chameleon. Because of this, the suspect manages to take him down before running away to the streets with the money. Frank quickly stands up and chases the criminal on foot. After a long chase, Frank eventually catches him, and both of them fall to the ground through the window of the store. Without hesitation, the criminal takes Frank's gun and fires it at the policeman's head. But thanks to his hardening ability, Frank manages to survive the gunshot and take down his opponent before his superpower expires. Later on, a medic checks on Frank's injury. The police captain enters the room and asks Frank in private if he had used a pill, and Frank admits to it. For this reason, the captain suspends him despite his heroic actions. Frank proposes that they should work together because the men in black are preventing them from properly doing their job. Convinced, the captain discreetly gives him a picture of Art, telling him that he is rumored to be the source of power. Meanwhile, Art is still waiting inside the fast food chain where he is supposed to meet Robin. Because he does not know their usual time of meeting up, he stays there until night. After a long time of waiting, Robin finally arrives and looks for her cousin. Art leaves the fast food place after confirming that Robin is the one he is waiting for. He also slashes her motorcycle tires. Later on, Robin sees this and gets frustrated because she now has to walk back home. All of a sudden, Art kidnaps her on her way and puts her in the trunk of his car. He takes her to a secluded place and threatens that he will pay a visit to her mother if she does not cooperate, implying that he will kill her mother if she refuses. Art then takes her out of the trunk and places her in the passenger seat, and Robin has no choice but to help him. While Art is driving her away, Robin sends a message to Frank via phone, but the Major quickly takes the phone away before she can text him where they are heading. She is then forced by Art to contact a fellow dealer and act as his bait, which Robin unwillingly complies with, and so they head to a supermarket. In the supermarket, Robin asks for some pills using a specific code. She is then taken to the office at the back of the establishment. Inside the office, the man in charge interrogates Robin about why she is here, and she admits that she was taken hostage by Art. This angers the man, prompting him to lock Robin inside the room and then ingest a power pill before he goes to fight Art. Art confronts the man with a scissor, and a brief bloody fight ensues. It turns out that the office room where Robin is locked in is actually connected to a truck which dangerously moves around in the fight. Fortunately, Art manages to kill his opponents and stop the truck from moving. However, he gets shot by one of the enemies. After defeating the last enemy, for a moment, the wounded Art mistakes Robin for his daughter, Tracy. He then opens the vault beside Robin. There, they find that the people behind the power pills are testing their effects by putting tracking chips inside them and distributing them to the people. Also, power will be distributed outside New Orleans. To prevent this, they have to find and stop Biggie's private demonstration of the pills to his clients somewhere in the city. However, the chest wound weakens Art, and Robin takes this opportunity to run away. But she is in danger because the man in charge Art just killed has come back to life due to his acquired superpower. The guy attacks Robin, who then runs away inside the supermarket and yells for help. Luckily, Art comes to her rescue. The Major plunges a knife at the man's heart and keeps it there until his superpower expires, killing him. Robin attempts to escape the supermarket, but she stops when Art asks for her help. She does not want to help, thinking that Art killed Newt, but Art reveals that it was a drug overdose that killed Newt. Learning that the Major did not kill her cousin, Robin decides to help him and stitches his wound. Meanwhile, the policeman Frank heads to Robin's home and sees two men in black interrogating Robin's mother. Instead of confronting them violently, Frank decides to go to the bathroom and pretends to be the mother's lover. He goes on to record the two men in black via phone to scare them off, and the ruse works. After the two have left the place, Frank quickly asks the mother for some duct tape, but she is hesitant to help because she does not know him. But when she learns about his and Robin's relationship, she gives him the duct tape. Also, Frank takes her phone as well. Immediately, he runs toward the men in black's van and plants the duct-taped phone at the back of the van so that he can track their location later. Back to Art, who is asking if Robin has a superpower, but Robin replies that she has not tried the pill herself due to seeing a girl of her age overdosing on it. This confuses the Major because she is participating in the distribution of the pills. Robin then reasons that she only does so to earn money to help her mother. When Art asks what else she can do, Robin does some freestyles to prove she is good at rap, and Art is impressed by her rapping skills, so he encourages her to pursue it. Later, Robin offers to be Art's guide in the city if he is willing to pay $5,000. The Major accepts her offer and they head out together. While driving away, she asks him about his daughter named Tracy. Here, Art explains that he and his daughter were experimented upon by a defense contractor company. Tracy exhibited superpower even without ingesting a pill, so they took her away. It is then revealed that everything Art has done is to find and save his own daughter. Eventually, they arrive at the place where the private demonstration of the pills will be conducted. Since it is dangerous, Art advises her to stay behind while he infiltrates the event. He manages to enter by taking down the bouncer and stealing his clothes. Before making his move, he listens and watches the demonstration. Then, Art finally makes his move and quickly takes Biggie hostage. He tells them to drop the suitcase full of pills. However, Biggie's client decides to betray him, refusing to give up the pills. So now, they are placed in a standoff which eventually turns into a shootout. Like a one-man army, Art masterfully defeats the various henchmen there. After dealing with them, he confronts face-to-face with Biggie once again. At gunpoint, the terrified Biggie offers him money and pills to please him, but the Major only wants his daughter back. Biggie then tells Art about a boat named Genesis where his daughter could be located. Outside the event, Frank finally catches the van that he traced using the duct-tape phone. Because it is also at Biggie's private demonstration, he sees and reunites with Robin. He shows her a picture of Art and asks his whereabouts, but Robin refuses to tell him because she knows the Major is a good man. Of course, Frank does not believe this, so he goes inside the event and finds Art. He forcefully asks the Major to drop his weapon, which Art does. However, he immediately steals the policeman's pistol, pointing at him. Here, Frank tells him that he knows Robin. Without being noticed, his momentary distraction is enough for Biggie to ingest a pill that gives him the power to grow in size. Seeing his monstrous transformation, Art and Frank quickly run away from the venue. While escaping from the place, Art shoots at the helium tanks, causing an explosion that instantly kills Biggie. But despite working together for a brief moment, Frank still arrests Art. When Robin protests against this, Art tells her to just go home. As Robin is about to leave, she spots a suspicious bearded man named Wallace leaving the scene in a car. She then secretly follows this man. On the other hand, Frank drives Art to the police station. While driving there, Art attempts to convince Frank to let him go. He tells the policeman that the police captain is actually working for the bad guys, and the reason why he only sends Frank to arrest Art is because they will just kill him after getting the Major. In addition, Art reveals that his daughter, Tracy, is the source of Power Pill and that New Orleans is the testing ground for it. Convinced, Frank agrees to help the Major and gives him a Power Pill before getting out. Later, the police force eventually surrounds their vehicle but finds only Art. They then transfer him to the ship named Genesis. At the same time, Robin has just arrived at the docks after following the car she saw earlier. There, she meets Frank, who tells her that Art allowed himself to be arrested so that he can get inside Genesis. With Art inside the ship, he and Robin will help him retrieve his daughter. After telling Robin to stay where she is, Frank gives her an earpiece so she can alert him about incoming enemies. Frank then approaches the steel gate of the docks and demands to be let in by pretending to be a dock worker. However, upon confirming to his fellow guards that Frank is just pretending, the guard quickly shoots him. Luckily, he ingested a pill earlier, enabling him to survive the shooting. He leaves behind his earpiece and then attacks the guards of the docks to get to the ship. On the other hand, Art has just boarded Genesis. There, he meets a woman named Gardner who tells him a story about Henrietta Lacks. She explains that Henrietta's amazing cells were taken from her without her or her family's consent, and these cells were used for nearly every medical advancement ever since. Gardner tells Art this story because she believes that it is justifiable for his daughter Tracy to be used for a similar intention. Of course, Art disagrees with this, causing the henchmen behind him to electrocute him. He is then taken below deck to be executed. Meanwhile, Robin infiltrates Genesis by riding a van that is getting transferred to the ship. After the transfer, she immediately sneaks inside the ship where she sees Frank inside the ship's control room. There, they see in the cameras that Art is being transferred below deck. Frank then instructs Robin to control the doors and guide him through the corridors while he goes to rescue Art. After Frank has left the room, Robin presses the emergency lockdown button to close all the doors. She also sees through the camera that Tracy is inside the ship's laboratory. However, because the button has been pressed, the ship's alarm goes off. As such, one of Gardner's henchmen, Wallace, heads to the control room. Using his power of super strength, he destroys the doors along the way. At the same time, a fight ensues between Frank and an enemy with a rubber-like body. But Frank defeats him by placing his hand on the door while Robin closes it, trapping the enemy's rubber limb. Meanwhile, Wallace has just reached the control room's door and forcefully opens it. But he only finds that Robin is no longer there anymore. She has also destroyed the control room's equipment, angering him. At this point, the ship has finally sailed after much preparation. Robin makes her way to Tracy's room to gain access to her room. She first mobilizes an enemy guard and takes his keycard away. Following this, she enters Tracy's room and informs her that Art is going to rescue her, making Tracy so happy. They then hide at the room's hidden trapdoor to evade Gardner. Seeing Tracy is missing, Gardner informs all of the ship's personnel to be on high alert. Meanwhile, in custody, Art threatens the guard that he has the deadly power of shooting heat waves out of his body like a pistol shrimp. After seeing that the Major has a pill in his mouth, the guard immediately lets him go. Just then, Wallace arrives to fight Art. Frank sneaks behind the bearded man and points a shotgun at his back, but Wallace's punch sends Frank flying away. Still, Frank manages to pass the shotgun to the Major, who quickly executes Wallace. Together, the two men make their way to the front of the ship where Frank is supposed to meet Robin. Robin arrives with Tracy, reuniting the father and daughter. After this heartwarming reunion, the four of them now have to find a way out of the dangerous ship. But one of Gardner's henchmen spots them and quickly ingests a pill that activates his power to create knives out of his bones. The henchman catches them, and a brief fight ensues between him and Art. While fighting the enemy, Art instructs them to get to the nearby lifeboat. With Robin's help, he then manages to kill the henchman by using his own bone knives against him. Then, he immediately heads to the lifeboat, but he finds that Robin is not there. It turns out that Gardner and her henchmen caught her when she was returning to the lifeboat. Gardner threatens the Major that she will kill Robin if he does not give up Tracy. Because of this, Art has decided to finally use his power pill. He goes outside of the lifeboat and slowly makes his way to Gardner with multiple soldiers pointing their guns at him. Here, Art uses his power to generate powerful heat waves from his body. With that move, he manages to take out his enemies while also miraculously avoiding Robin. However, the powerful attack also affects Art, who immediately collapses and dies. As such, Robin tearfully attempts to wake him up, but fails. Here, Tracy approaches and uses her superpower to heal Art. Fortunately, she succeeds. They rejoice seeing him come back to life. With this, the four of them finally escape the ship. The following day, Frank tells Art that he will become a whistleblower to expose the police captain and anyone who cooperated with the villains. Afterward, Art embraces Robin before saying goodbye. Robin later goes home with the bag of money from the Major while Art happily drives away from the city with his daughter. While the premise of acquiring superpowers in a pill is still a fantasy at this point, the movie decides to use the near future to show how that kind of access to power can cause more harm than good. It also shows the terrifying possibility this harm can be inflicted upon people in the name of profit and progress. Still, despite this bleak scenario, the movie optimistically reminds us that there will always be people who will do their best to fight against such injustice. As such, the most powerful superpower shown in the movie is courage.